All right, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into one of the wildest digital success stories of our entire generation. How Jimmy Donaldson, who you probably know as Mr. Beast, built a massive global empire through pure, unadulterated obsession. This isn't just another story about viral videos. It's a seriously emotional, incredibly inspiring journey of resilience. We're going to explore the massive highs, the grueling lows, and the exact blueprint that took him from a struggling creator to an absolute unstoppable force.
Listen to this quote, because it really sets the stage perfectly. He gave away millions of dollars, built one of the biggest YouTube empires. But before all that, he was just a kid obsessed with videos. It's crazy to think about, right? Long before the massive stunts and the billionaire-level success, there was just a quiet kid with a huge, seemingly impossible dream. It's such a powerful reminder that every giant empire starts with a single obsession.
So we're taking it all the way back to 1998. Born in Kansas, Jimmy was just your average kid stepping into a world that was really only just figuring out what the internet could be. There was absolutely zero indication that he would grow up to completely rule it.
He grew up in Greenville, North Carolina, and had a pretty standard middle-class upbringing. It definitely had its rough patches. His parents divorced early on, and Jimmy was a super quiet kid. But man, what he lacked in outward volume, he totally made up for in extreme, intense focus. By the time he was just 11 or 12 years old, he funneled all of that emotional energy straight into one single outlet, starting a YouTube channel.
Now, here is where it gets real. You've got to imagine enduring years of literally zero payoff. From 2011 all the way to 2015, he started a gaming channel and was hit with painfully low views. It would have been so easy and honestly totally understandable for him to just throw in the towel around 2013 when nobody was watching. But nope. He leaned in. He pushed through that brutal, painful phase until he started actively studying the algorithm, which is what actually set him up for his big breakthrough.
Instead of sitting in his dark bedroom throwing random gaming videos into the void, he flipped the script entirely. He stopped making what he wanted to make and started obsessively, relentlessly, trying to figure out the exact science of why viral videos blow up. And I mean, he really studied. He analyzed every single data point he could get his hands on. Pacing, thumbnails, retention rates, the whole shebang. YouTube wasn't just a fun hobby anymore, it was a giant, complex puzzle, and he was determined to solve it. But here's the kicker. Even with all that intense studying, he still failed, time and time again. He's facing this immense pressure, pouring his absolute heart and countless hours into these videos, only to have nobody watch them.
But he kept going. This right here is the defining trait of his entire journey. He absolutely refused to quit. Instead, he embraced taking massive risks, leaning into these completely bizarre, off-the-wall challenge concepts, all driven by this pure obsession to succeed.
And that pure dedication? It finally sparked a breakthrough that shocked the entire internet. He made a video where he literally just sat in a chair and counted to 100,000. Sounds absolutely insane, right? But it was a total masterclass in holding human attention, and it was exactly the crazy spark his channel needed.
The payoff for that absurd obsession was instant. After years of basically flatlining, 2017 brought this sudden, massive, dramatic spike in views that sent his channel straight to the moon. All that silent studying had finally ignited.
Now, most people would just pocket the cash and relax. Not Jimmy. He engineered this highly strategic, ruthless cycle of reinvestment. Step 1, spend way more money on content. Step 2, make bigger, crazier videos. Step 3, get more views, and then do it all over again. He poured almost every single dime back into his videos, betting everything that pushing the boundaries of what was possible would lead to exponential growth.
And as he hit that rapid growth phase, his style evolved in such an incredible way. He started doing things literally nobody else was doing at that scale, handing out enormous stacks of cash to complete strangers and pulling off wild, incredibly expensive stunts. But it was his shift toward deeply emotional charity that truly defined him. He wasn't just creating a spectacle, his unprecedented generosity was genuinely winning hearts and helping people.
Section: The YouTube King and His Private World. Even as he stepped into his era as the biggest creator on the planet, he kept his personal life, like his past relationship with Maddie Spadell, super low-key. He had to protect that intense focus on his work. And he needed that focus, because to sustain giving away millions of dollars, you need a serious financial engine. He essentially evolved into a brilliant businessman, expanding his revenue far beyond normal YouTube ads by locking down massive brand sponsors and launching standalone business ventures.
He totally transformed from a YouTuber into a global mogul. Using his digital empire's billions of views, he launched huge physical food brands like Feastables and Beast Burger. But honestly, the most inspiring part is his global impact. He leveraged his massive audience to launch Team Trees and Team Seas, raising millions to protect the environment. He fundamentally changed YouTube content into a real force for global good.
All those endless hours and massive risks resulted in an absolute avalanche of industry awards. We're talking Creator of the Year, multiple Streamy Awards, the legendary YouTube Diamond Play button, and billions, with a B, of global views. The industry recognizes that he hasn't just mastered the platform, he's completely redefined internet culture.
But when you look at all that billionaire-level success and massive global influence today, you've got to remember the contrast. It was built entirely on those early, grueling years of low views and intense pressure. That brutal, agonizing struggle is literally what forged his triumph.
Which brings us to this statement. Mr. Beast didn't get lucky. He studied, failed, and kept going until he became unstoppable. That perfectly captures the absolute truth of his story. His transformation from a quiet kid to a philanthropic powerhouse wasn't magic, and it definitely wasn't overnight luck. It was deeply strategic, unstoppable perseverance. So as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a real question based on Jimmy's insane journey. What are you willing to be obsessed with and totally fail at for years before you finally see success? Because true greatness requires an obsession that can actually survive failure. Think about that. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and keep learning.